Welcome to another crafting video. I am so excited for this video. I am filming this intro after filming the whole video, and let me just say, I worked really hard on this project and I learned a lot of new 3D modeling skills in Blender, and it turned out so good. Today we are going to be making a resource that you can find in the game Slime Rancher. Slime Rancher is one of my favorite resource management exploration indie games. It is so cute. This particular resource is a little bit harder to find, and you kind of have to level up a little bit to find it. And the resource is called Radiant Ore. It is like a rock shape, and then it has these cubes sticking out of it, and it has this rainbowy color shifting property to it. We'll be designing most of this in Blender. Some of the cubes are going to be made out of some plastic covered in a film that is that rainbowy part of it. And then we're going to put a lamp inside and it will light up and it'll be so cool. Let's jump straight into the 3D modeling part in Blender.
First, I began with a cube, and I was trying to kind of follow a tutorial, but I didn't want it to be exactly like it. I duplicated the cube and then I moved them around a little bit. And once I had gotten the cubes to a position that looked right to me, I opened the sculpting tab, and I cannot for the life of me figure this out. This is what it ended up kind of looking like, and I wasn't happy. Then I decided to try using a different shape, a like eggy shape, and stack them on top of each other. I was not happy with how this was looking. It kind of, to me, just looked like really weird pancakes stacked on top of each other. And so at this point I was like, okay, I need to watch some more videos. So this is the third try, and I started with the same shape, but I found a tool called knife, and it changed my life. It made it so much easier to basically shave off pieces of this original egg shape and make it look like a rock. And oh my goodness, this was so much easier. It was just amazing, and I was getting the shape that I wanted. Highly recommend learning the knife tool. So here we have the 3 rocks stacked, and I just shaved them till they look like what I wanted them to look like. It was time to add the little cubes all over. And once I was happy with all of these little cubes, the last thing that I was going to need to do was put the big cubes in and figure out how to subtract them so that there's a hole. And that wasn't too hard. I just had to use a boolean, not sure. And then I needed a hole in the bottom for the lamp. So there we have it. And I did have to figure out that you have to select your entire model before exporting, or else it won't slice correctly. So I did figure that out, and then I sliced it. This took 15 hours to print and something like 150 grams of filament.
I hope you're enjoying this video so far. And if you are, would you consider giving it a thumbs up so that I get recommended to more people who might like my channel? And if you've watched a couple of my videos and you like them, then maybe you could consider subscribing. We have the 3D model fully printed here. And at the back there's like a little bit of issue, but other than that it is perfect. I love it. So the next thing I need to do is sand my model, and I actually don't have the right sandpaper, so we're just gonna try to do with what we have, which is this sandpaper. I want to get this all smooth, and I want to get this all smooth. So wish me luck. So I think we're ready for the base coat of primer.
So I started with a very dark gray. My idea was to start with the darkest gray and then paint the shadows, and then I would paint the faces of the stone lighter where I thought light might hit the stone, just so that it's not one gray blob. And here I'm just dry brushing some white on the ridges to define the faces of the rock even more. And then I got to do the cubes, which was the most fun part in my opinion, because they're like purple and pink. I did a little ombre on the top of each of the cubes, and then I did these little wavy stripes. And then the part that I think is the coolest is when I dry brushed light blue on the edges of the cubes.
The next step is to make the prism thingies that are coming out right here. My plan is to use the plastic on this poster frame. I need to do a test. I have this holographic cling that I plan on putting on the outside, but I'm afraid that it's going to be too see-through just on its own. So I'm gonna do a little test here where I paint one of, like a little piece pink on the back, and I put the cling on the front. And then one of them is just gonna be clear, and I put the cling on the front. And we're gonna see how the light shines through it and what it looks like.
So I painted just this one, and then the other one just gets the cling. And they both get cling, but the other one I painted. This turned out exactly as I thought it would. The clear one was way more see-through, and I liked the painted one better.
So I've got my flashlight here. This is the flashlight through the non-painted one, and this is the flashlight through the painted one. I think, folks, that we're gonna go with the painted. It looks a lot better, and the color shift is a lot more visible.
That is the beginning of my pattern for the plastic to make the cubes, and I did have to kind of redo it a little bit just because the cube was exactly the size of the square and not the size of the inside of the square. This plastic was very difficult to cut. It kept breaking on me. I had to cut it many times. I painted them all and let them dry. And then I glued them together inside this rock because I tried it outside the rock and it did not work very well.
Here is a close-up of what it looks like right now. It's pretty messy, and I had to trim it quite a bit because I didn't account for, like, I measured perfectly each piece, but I didn't account for the width of the pieces themselves when I was putting it together. So yeah, that's why I had to trim it a little bit. So now we're going to try to assemble the second cube inside. I already assembled it here, but it's not going to fit like this. I'm going to have to assemble it inside of the rock as well. I just need you to see what I see when I'm cutting this plastic. It's very messy. I had to trim it quite a bit because I didn't account for, like, I measured perfectly each piece themselves when I was putting it together. So yeah, that's why I had to trim it a little bit. So now we're going to try to assemble the second cube inside. I already assembled it here, but it's not going to fit like this. I'm going to have to assemble it inside of the rock as well. I just need you to see what I see when I'm cutting this plastic. It's like a carnival mirror.
This just goes to show how messy and complicated it was to cut the film for these pieces. It was so finicky. I ended up hot gluing the cling to the cubes because nothing else worked.
This mess is a representation of my mental state when I'm finishing a craft. So, look at all the teeny tiny trimmings. Okay, so you might remember that it's actually supposed to be a lamp. So I have the lamp part, and we're going to put the lamp inside and see what it looks like when it's lit up. Okay, it's cool. Thank you so much for watching this video. I absolutely love how this craft turned out, and I'm so excited that it's complete because I've been working on it for like 2 weeks now. This has been one of my crafts that I've spent more time on, but you can tell it looks so amazing and I'm very, very happy with it. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next crafting video.